It's good, harmless fun.
Yes, President.
Idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I take it. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay. But
And I'm gonna take them white people off your hand too.
But he's like, listen, okay, let them flee.
Yeah.
But it's this idea of a lot of people. It's very interesting. They want to call that a genocide in South Africa.
Yes.
But not
Oh my God.
everywhere else.
Please don't get me started on that shit.
But the idea is it is reparations. They did not say they were going to take land away from every white person. They basically are like looking through the records and it was like, if you have inappropriately come into land that is not yours, there's a possibility.
Wait, you mean white people can inappropriately take land in a land that they're not from?
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thought it?
Wow.
Who would have known, right?
How? As we sit on land that they
That
took.
sounds like alternative facts.
Right? It's this idea of like, because we are moving to a society where we believe in equity and equality, we also have to believe in repair and restoration. And sometimes what is restoring is taking away things that don't belong to you and giving them to the rightful owner.
Right.
And trying to find ways that you'll coexist in land and stuff like that. But
So factcheck.org actually fact checked. Trump played this video. It was almost like Trump was trying to create this gotcha moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the president of South Africa and show him all of this quote unquote proof that there was a white genocide happening to white South African farmers, which is not the case. That's not even close to the truth. He said, according to factcheck.org, Trump played a nearly 5-minute long video that proved white Afrikaner farmers were victim of a genocide in South Africa. The video actually showed a 2020 demonstration, not a burial site. And so it was like this thing of like, oh, here are all the, because it was like crosses on the ground. And they were like, that wasn't a burial site. That was actually a demonstration to bring attention to the deaths of all farmers of all races, not just white farmers.
What if President Ramaphosa showed?
Oh, there you go.
What?
You should have said that when I was calling him President Cyril.
I'm just letting you rock, bro. I told you I'm nobody important. I'm just here. I'm just pressing buttons. Like I do a little bit of that.
Okay, got you.
I do some of that. Right? But anyway.
There's one you forgot to press though.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We right here. We right here.
So what if President Ramaphosa, when he came and Donald Trump showed him this video, he's like, in fact, I have a video to show you. And it was George Floyd. And it was all of these, it was all of this. He's like, there's a genocide happening in your own country. What would be the response then? Would Donald Trump call that alternative facts? Would he call that fake news?
If he
that's what he should have done. Like, I would have, like, if he
pulled out a little iPad,
it was like, by the way, I'm something of a documentarian myself. And I have something to show you because your treatment of black people here in America has been less than stellar.
It said, here's some other claims that were fact-checked. It said President Trump displayed an image of what he claimed were body bags of white farmers who had been murdered in South Africa. The image was of humanitarian workers burying bodies in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The image was a screen grab of a Reuters video in February after deadly battles against Rwandan-backed rebels who had captured the city. So no, what wasn't even body bags of white farmers. It says crime in South Africa is high. Data shows that most murder victims are black in South Africa's country. More than 26,000 in 2024 were black. As for farmers themselves, only 44 murders were linked to farmers. Only 7 of those murders were white. 7 white farmers murdered in 2024. It says the real conflict with farmers in South Africa is the disproportionate amount of land owned by white Afrikaner farmers. Although they only comprise 7% of the population, they own 75% of the farmland. And so the president, Ramaphosa signed legislation to begin the process, like Miracle said, of redressing land inequity that allows the government to, if they have to, seize land, but no land has been seized, and he's encouraging the farmers to like sell the land. So again, like, you're the president and 7% of the people own 75% of the land, and you got, black South Africans that's their country. You know what I'm saying? Who's lived there their whole life. Not saying these white farmers don't have any access to the country, but for 7% of the people to own 75% of the land, that's crazy. And the fact that there's so to create a pathway to an equitable process is what you're supposed to do if you're the president.
It's wild because in the media sphere, all you see reported from the beginning, I would say, of the Ukraine-Russia war was white Americans concerned about white people abroad.
Yes.
That was it. You know what I mean? I've seen so many infographics and things of genocides and atrocities happening across the globe that get virtually no coverage.
Yeah.
And, the white-on-white violence that exists between Russia and Ukraine is one thing. Right, and I think a lot of Americans were divided about that, considering the fact that so many American nationals were being funded by Russia and the propaganda and all that. But now that it's black people versus white people in the country, the South Africa, all of a sudden there's this white outrage.
Right.
All of a sudden white people care about what's happening beyond American borders. Right. Now all of a sudden all of these white people on Facebook and Instagram are geopolitical scholars.
Right.
Everybody that signs up to Facebook gets their PhD in sociology and epidemiology and now civics, apparently.
Right.
And what's fucking sickening is that these are the same people who were not only willfully silent against Gaza, Palestinians, willfully silent about the atrocities happening in Congo, Sudan, willfully silent about the things that are happening right here in America.
Right.
To the white farmers here.
Yeah.
To the white farmers here that are getting shit on by the Trump administration, they get absolutely no recompense whatsoever. They don't care about them.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden now, you know what I mean, we want to be fake outraged about fucking settler colonials in South Africa.
But it's this article that the New York Times did, and the title is Trump Cast Himself as the Protector of Persecuted White People. And that's really what he's done. And if there's one thing that he has actually followed up in terms of his, he promised all of this. Obviously, the economy's going to hell. You know what I'm saying? And prices aren't going down anytime soon. In fact, these tariffs are hitting, and now prices are going to go up.
Yeah, Nike just started raising prices.
Nike started raising prices. He's saying he's going to hit Apple with a 25% tariff.
Yeah.
So all of these things are going to continue to go up. He told Walmart, eat the tariffs. Don't try to raise your prices. Yeah. But what's fascinating, but he is he has been weaponizing his Justice Department, and obviously he's weaponizing ICE against black and brown people.
He said he was going to.
Yeah.
The whole campaign trail, he said what he was going to do.
Yes.
And I don't want to be here shooting him bail because that's not what I'm doing, but at least I guess he's sticking to his laurels.
Right. But this
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Well, I think this is where you start to say to the black and brown people that supported him, at what point do even they have to say?
They don't. They don't.
He does not care. The idea, he's down for these white folks. You know what I'm saying? Period. If you're El Funky...
El Funky, man.
And El Funky is a pro-Cuban rapper.
Pro-Trump Cuban rapper.
A pro-Trump Cuban rapper.
Yeah.
And now, he's going to get kicked out of the country because he's not a citizen.
Oh, shucks.
Was talked about he wanted to vote for Trump if he was able to. Supposedly Mark Rubio and all these people have used his music. But Mark Rubio ain't going to help you now.
Don't look at Mark Rubio. Mark Rubio can't help you.
He can't. He's not going to help you. They said he got 30 days. Now you're going to be back in Cuba. You know what I'm saying? And so again, it's and we've seen this. We saw this with
salsa your ass out here, nigga.
I think that's Mexico. I think Cuban is a different dance. Maybe, I don't know. But it's we saw that with the Cubans in Miami. We saw that with the Venezuelan community in Miami, right? And we're seeing this with these, I just wonder where are these black Trump supporters, and what do they say when he says all the black and brown people have to leave the country, the Haitians got to leave the country, but these white South African people are the only ones, and they're allowed to come in because of some genocide that doesn't even exist.
Black and brown Trump supporters are like people in abusive relationships.
1,000%.
They are just trapped in this cycle where they're like, well, you don't know him like I know him. He didn't mean it. I deserve this. I had this coming. Maybe if I just watched my tone, he would have treated me better. Maybe if I would have voted for him earlier, he would have treated me better. Like that's what they sound like. They sound like perpetual victims with Stockholm syndrome.
Listen to this. The Trump administration, and again, these are real stories, right?
Of course they are.
The Trump administration said Monday that it has opened a civil rights investigation into the city of Chicago to see if its mayor or others had engaged in a pattern of discrimination by hiring a number of black people to senior positions. This is Chicago is a city that's predominantly black.
Yeah.
And again, you know, I talked about black people want black power last week, right?
You did.
Now when we
might I add.
thank you. Now that when we get voted in, and it's like, yo, I want to have black people in these positions.
Where's Tim Scott right now? What the fuck is he doing? I hope he's brushing his teeth.
Brushing his gums.
Brushing his gums, man. Maybe chewing carrots or something, man.
Kind of navigating his fake marriage. I mean, like, is he still married? Like, because he doesn't have to be now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He was probably hitting a Monte Teo to get all the, you know what I mean? My girlfriend's not from here. She's from Canada.
But remember, he like, you know, had, because the whole thing around Tim Scott, where he wasn't married.
Where's Vivek? What's he doing?
Hey,
He's
bro,
running for
that is
governor of Ohio.
Vivek wild. Right, but you're right.
Really?
Like,
Huh.
but it's right. It's like, where are these?
Yeah, where all these black and brown
Black
faces?
Trump, where's the black dude in Florida? Where's he at?
Byron
Yeah,
Donald?
where's he at? You know what I'm saying?
Probably sweeping up someplace. Singing Negro spirituals.
Yes, the balls.
Yeah, they probably, Byron Donald come into the wade in the water, wade in the water. Like,
Miracle, how do you see, like, and I think the question is like, how should we as black and brown people be responding to the fact that here's Trump, you know, he's literally weaponizing the power of the White House and the federal government against black and brown people specifically. How should we be responding?
I think we should be responding to Trump's taking over and I would say the bastardization of justice and law as something that is like no surprise, because we know that white supremacy is always going to harm people. I think we need to be responding by pushing back, by protesting, by organizing, I think also the reason these charges never stick is most black people are aware that these accusations are going to pop up. Like, for instance, like here in Pittsburgh, the mayor was accused of only giving business to black people, right? Because the amount of minority businesses who were getting contracts with the city increased over 35%.
Right.
And he said, okay, I would put out an RFP process. If you want to do business with the city, here's this RFP, and this is how it gets voted on. Yes. And even still, when black people were winning these proposals, people were still upset. Yes. There's nothing that anyone can do and say that is going to allow bigots and white supremacists to be satisfied when black and brown people get power or hire other black and brown people, right? Because if you see black and brown people working, you no longer have an excuse to call black and brown people lazy to justify your racism and your white supremacy. So I think right now people have to just make sure they have really good proposals and processes for hiring, firing, and connecting with other folks.
Absolutely.
I think people need to be fighting back, you know, showing your elected officials love and support, and get organizing, house to house, door to door, hood to hood, neighborhood to neighborhood, really coming together to like mobilize and fight back against Trump. And
it's never, but it's also like, even with Trump, it's never the other way. It's never like, hey, Trump, you didn't put anybody black in your cabinets, right? And so it's never that's never like questioned in the same way. They would say, and we know, I mean, he put some of the most unqualified people in these positions that we've ever seen, and is leaving them there. So it's never a question of all these. Wait, what did you do? Fox News? Okay, you're hired, right? It's never the same way. But there is something that we can do, Miracle.
Okay.
What we can do is we can all come together, and we can buy Trump's meme coin. And then we could get a dinner with Donald Trump.
I'm so...
and then maybe we could get some type of... I mean, think about it. This happened. The president has a meme coin.